I bought $1,600 worth of IHG points. That is a lot of money being spent on points and not a strategy that most people should deploy. But what if I told you that in my case, it helped me save over $1,000 that I was going to spend anyways. In today's video, I'll break down how I booked the Kimpton Eventi hotel in New York City using a points and miles strategy that gives you the most bang for your buck. In the first part of the video, we'll talk about how many points I had and why I had to pivot away from my free night strategy that I talked about in an earlier video that I'll link up there. In the second part of my video, I'll talk about 4 strategies that helped me maximize the value of our stay. And lastly, I'll talk about my conclusions and takeaways. If you're new here, my name is Abhi. This is Credit Debit with Abhi. If you like this kind of content, hit the like and subscribe button. And like we do in all of our videos, without further ado, let's dive in. In my video covering the IHG Premier Card, I talked about how I was able to get a welcome offer that got me 5 free award nights, each valued at 60,000 points. Now, initially, my plan was to use these award nights to be able to book my stay in New York City. However, I pivoted away from that strategy because I have an upcoming trip in Asia, and Asia has some really good IHG hotels. So I plan to be using that there. Which then begs the question, why did I end up with the Kimpton Eventi in New York, and how did I go about booking it? It is also good to know that I had about 88,000 points in my IHG account. It came from my stay at the Intercontinental in Da Nang, and then the spend that I put on the card to hit the welcome offer. With that out of the way, let's talk about the 4 strategies that helped me maximize the value of my stay. Since I was looking at the Kimpton Eventi hotel in New York, let's talk about the retail prices and how much you need to pay with points to book this hotel. Bear in mind that this time of the year can be some of the most expensive hotel rates that you can see in New York City. So this is not an average across the entire year, but for this time of the year, it's pretty typical to see these kind of rates. For the Kimpton Eventi in New York, you're probably looking at $1,000 plus night. And if you booked it with points, you're still paying 112,000 points. So with that established, let's talk about the first strategy. This is about getting a 4th night free when you book 3 nights with points. Like I said before, the Kimpton Eventi was costing around 112,000 points. So for 4 nights, you're looking at 450,000 points. However, if you use this strategy, you could get the point required down to 82,000 points every single night. That is a 30,000 point saving for each night. So over 4 nights, you're saving about 120,000 points. This is a $95 annual fee card, and this 4th night free benefit, alongside a slew of other benefits, in my opinion, makes the IHG Premier Card one of the most underrated hotel cards out there. With this first strategy, you can see that you can save 30,000 points every single night when staying at IHG properties. The second strategy I want to talk about is the strategy of buying points. Now, this is not new in the credit card ecosystem, but the IHG Premier Card again unlocks something that can make buying points even more lucrative. I was going to pay for the Kimpton Eventi out of pocket. And like I said, the retail prices here could be up to $1,000. And if you add taxes and fees, you're looking at $5,000 for a 4-night stay. If you do not know this, IHG allows you to buy up to 200,000 points every single year. And generally when you're buying these points, you're paying 1 cent per point, meaning for 200,000 points, you're probably paying $2,000. Because I have the IHG Premier Card, I got a 20% discount on the price I paid for these points, which meant that for 200,000 points, I was paying $1,600. Now, this particular offer may not stay with the card for a very long time, but it did come in handy when I was trying to book the hotel. So if you do the math, the cent per point I paid for the property was about 0.8. That's the buying side of the equation. Let's look at the redemption side of the equation. The nightly rate at the property can be up to $1,250, and you're paying 82,000 points to book that room, which means that the cent per point valuation can be around 1.5. If you look at the spread between the buying and the redemption side, you're buying at 0.8 cents per point and you're redeeming at 1.5 cents per point, creating a spread of 0.7 cents per point. And that 0.7 cents per point gives a differential value of about $1,400. Unless you're going to pay for cash for a property, this is a strategy that wouldn't work. However, if you are paying cash for a property, this unlocks value in the chain. The third strategy is a strategy where I got lucky, where Chase was running a 100% transfer bonus from Chase points to IHG points. So every 1 Chase point turned into 2 IHG points. I had a few Chase points, so I transferred them over to IHG, getting 1:2 return. And like I said in the previous strategy, the cent per point valuation for these points was 1.5. So if you look at the value from 1 Chase points to what I was able to get, it is about 3 cents per point, which for Chase points is pretty good. And I was happy with the redemption. So when you combine those 3 strategies, I arrived at a little less than the number of points I required to book this 4-night stay, which is where the 4th strategy comes into the picture. And that's being able to transfer over your points to someone within your household. Yes, you heard it right. Chase allows you to transfer over points from one account holder to another account holder, as long as these account holders have the same billing address. This is where player 2 came in clutch. She transferred over some of her Chase points to me, and I was able to use that 100% IHG transfer bonus to be able to transfer them out to IHG, thereby getting me to a substantial pool of points that allowed me to book a 4-night stay at the Kimpton Eventi. So where does that leave us? My goal of making this video was to share with each one of you the strategies I use to make my booking. Not all of these strategies are going to come to fruition at the same time for you. However, knowing these strategies allows you the flexibility to choose the one that works for you. If you've used IHG points in a unique way and have a strategy that I didn't cover in my video, let me know in the comments below. And like always, I'll see you in the next one.